Hey guys, so today I created a YouTube Shorts analyzer and I'm going to show you exactly how I did this. I'm going to show you a demo and we'll get straight into it afterwards. So if I execute this workflow, it's going to scrape the videos that I want it to scrape, and then it's going to pull in all the information from that YouTube video, so the transcript, and then it's going to feed it into an OpenAI analyzer experts, and it's going to give me improved scripts, and I'm going to show you here. It's going to fill this table in hook 1, hook 2, hook 3 as different options for improved scripts, and a full-on improved script. So basically I'm going to let this run and I'll come back to this when it's finished. Okay, so it's finished and we can see here that it's all been filled in with an improved version of the whole transcript, and then it's given us 3 different hooks. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to delete all this now, and I'm going to go step by step into how I've done this. To start with, all of this is going to be, as in this workflow is going to be free on my school community, so please check it out if you don't want to start from scratch. It's going to be super easy to follow. On the school community, just to show you how to do this, if you come to the homepage and come to the classroom, I have a section called YouTube Workflows, and in this, I will have the JSON file here, which you can download. And when you're back into n8n, you can just import from file there. So it's easy as that. And let's get straight into it. So to start with, we want to trigger on execution, and then we want to have a YouTube node. This YouTube node can be, you can sign up to this or add your credentials to this, let me say, via your Google credentials. So I have a whole separate video on this. Please check it out if you want to. Otherwise, if you want to try and figure it out, create new credential and open docs here. Super easy to follow. And once you've done this, the rest of the video will be a lot easier, and you can use this in future as well. So once we have this, we want to get resource playlist item. And the reason I've done this is because I know all of my shorts are in a specific playlist called n8n Automation Shorts. But if you're trying to choose a different one, if you want to choose a channel or a separate videos, you can change this resource to channel, video, playlist, or whatever. I've done Operation Get Many because I want to pull in all of my playlist videos and return all. And when I execute this, I will have the information of all the videos within my playlist. And this includes title, description, and video ID, which is the most important one, as well as date published. So once I have this, I want to actually update this Google Sheets that I've created. And if we do this here, again, if you don't have your credentials set up, just set it up with your Google account very quickly. Same thing as your YouTube. And we want to operation append or update row. And pick your document and pick your sheet from the list. And we want to map the column manually on the date. The reason we want to do this rather than just append the row is so that if we use this multiple times, it will update the specific column that we want rather than continuously adding on, and that way your sheet will go on endlessly. So we pull in this date from the published at column, and then we put in the title and the link. If you want to add more information here, you can, but this is the one that I just want to update my sheets with. And if we come back here, we see this completely populated. And so our next step is actually to pull this data back in. And the reason we're pulling it back in is because when we do this, we firstly get rows. This is the operation get rows. And when we do this, we actually return the empty columns as well. And this is important because if we're using this workflow multiple times, there may be times where this is all filled in and we don't want to unnecessarily put in this information through our API scrapers in future, in the next steps, so that it doesn't waste credit. So this is basically a way to make sure that the workflow is a little bit more efficient. And this if node is going to be to check whether the script is populated or not. If it's not populated, it will run through the transcripts scraper. If it is populated, it will go straight through to our next node. So this section is our transcript scraper. I've used an Apify scraper for this. And so if we come over here to Apify, it's this scraper here, Akash 9078 YouTube transcript extractor. Super cheap, from 0.01 cents for 1,000 results. So very, very easy to do. And if you don't have an Apify account, so this is the Apify main page, and set up your account, and you can find your YouTube scraper by just typing in YouTube and pick the one that you want. So as I mentioned, I chose the Akash 9071. It's this one. Okay, so I've just done this, and you can try for free right here. What you want to do, however, when you're in this console is first, you want to make sure that your settings, if you haven't done this, by the way, go to settings, API and integrations, and then copy this API token here. You're going to want to copy that so that you can put this into n8n in authentication, predefined credential type, choose your Apify API, which it will come up on the list. And then you want to put in your credential in your API key right here. So I've already done this. And this way it will make sure that only you can access this, your account in your billing. Now, once you've done this, if we come back to the actor, we want to take the API endpoint, go to API endpoint, and come to run actor synchronously and get dataset items. Copy this, and note that it is post. So copy this over and put this into the URL here of your HTTP request. Make sure the method is post, and then you want to click send body and choose JSON and using JSON here. And this way we can fill this in. And to know what to fill this in with, if you come back to the actor, you can actually see that it has only one input, but if you move to the JSON form, you can just copy this over and directly paste it right here. Now, it's running now, but what you want to make sure is you have your video URL and your language, but your video URL needs to be the one that you pull from the link that you've put in your Google Sheets. So make sure you've done that, and now it's running. So just to show you, when you're on your Apify account, you can actually see the actor running here. And this is going to be, when this is done, the node will complete and it will move on to the next step. So I'm just going to wait for this to finish and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so it is done. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but we have all of our, didn't want to do that, sorry. We have all of our transcripts from our videos. So the next thing we're going to do is just ensure that our transcripts are updated into our Google Sheets. So that's empty at the moment. So if we execute this, we'll populate all of the scripts here. And we do this by, again, doing append or update row. Choose your things from the list. Choose your sheets and your Google Sheets that you want. And then we want to map on the date, because this is going to be unique. So I know that a video can only be published at one time specifically. And I've pulled this in from the if statement previously. The reason I've done this here, the reason I've done that is because if I pull it in from here, this is not going to match what we have there because we're using a different scraper. So once I've done that, I can put in the script and the transcript here, and that's how we populate the Google Sheets. Now, my next step is, again, to pull in the Google Sheets that we have. And the reason we have this step is because there may be times where we don't use that scraper if we already have all the transcripts available. And we're going to have another if statement, and this time is to check if we have an improved script available or not. This is again because we may have run it previously and this may have filled in already. So if it is filled in, we don't need to touch it. But if it is not, we're going to see that our true branch is populated with all of the information that we want. So when this is populated, we want to loop over each item individually, and we're going to want to put this into a ChatGPT short analyzer expert. So we have batch size of 1. Let's execute this once. And in our AI agent, we can see that our inputs are here. So we want to make sure that our prompt user message is a transcript and we pull in the script. Then we want to, also we want to make sure we define below to allow this. Then our most important thing is to update the system message. The system message is the most important part of any AI agent. This is where you define what you want to do with it. And I've put in that you are a short form content strategist and viral video editor. And I've put in a whole load of rules. All of this will be available if you download the workflow from the school community for free. But basically, I've made sure that it analyzes the transcript, it improves the hook and gives 3 different options for alternate hooks. And then it rewrites the full transcript from scratch so that I can use for another video. So if I execute this step, last thing I want to check is this requires specific output format. So when I've selected this, it will allow for an output parser. And if we go here, this structured output parser is of this from this option. Okay, so I just want to select that one. And in this structured output parser, I've put in hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, and a transcript. So the agent should know that the output will be in this format. So I hook up a model, and I've used GPT-4o, and I have also with the main GPT AI agent, the GPT-4o model. You can use a cheaper one if you want, or a more expensive one, but this one seems to do the job. And if I run this now, execute this step, it will output me 3 hooks and a whole separate transcript. Oh, this one hasn't worked. If I just execute again, sometimes it has trouble with outputting the parser, and you just need to execute it again. That's the only kind of issue. So I have 3 hooks and a transcript, and now I can just update my Google Sheets with this. So in the same way we've done before, we just choose the date to be our column to match on, and I've chosen it from the loop over items here, and then I've updated it with all our 3 hooks and our output. So we do this, and we will see here that our first, don't be fooled, this is empty, these are empty, but this first row has been filled with 3 hooks and an improved transcript. So there you have it. This will loop through for each of the items. And finally, I've just put in an edit field to say we're done when it is done, because if you don't populate this done branch, it seems to loop on forever. But that is it. So all in all, just check out the workflow from the school community if you don't want to go step by step. Play around with it. There are a lot of kind of nuances that you can change in this, but as a base model, I think this is pretty good and useful. And I'll see you in the next one.